Hmm? Yes? Ready? Huh? I'm Robert. The treasury of the precious quality, chapter 5, verse 58, like this.
Eye protection is over.
Okay, and the follow-up that these quotations comes from the Jigme Rinpoche's book. In the beginning, skillfully examine the teacher. Absolutely. And we already studied. In the middle, skillful follow him. Very skillfully and to follow up him or her. In the end, skillfully emulate his realization and the conduct. A disciple who does that is on the authentic paths. If you really to like student someone's like to follow up this process very carefully, then this student is very successful, 100% sure. Very, because this student is the right, good, the authentic on the path. Once you have made a noble spiritual friend with all the requested qualities, and this like kind of once you find it requested qualities and requested qualities, like kind of the enough qualities, and then it's a very, very important. You muted.
Requisite.
The requested. Requisite. Requisite is like an enough the qualities, and also it's like it's a necessary. Requisite. The qualities, the spiritual friends, and follow him without any concern for life or the limb, just as the Bodhisattva Saddha Parudita follow Bodhisattva Dharmogata. And this is kind of her story of this Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, like Saddha Parudata, is like Bodhisattva all the times cries. And the receive his teacher's Bodhisattva, his name is like the Chunpots, Dharmogata. Or there is a great Pantita Naropa, followed the Supreme Tilopa. That is his stories. And Jetsamala follow Marwa of the Lodox. And then first is this Bodhisattva, ever weeping Bodhisattva. There's translations like this. First, here is the story of how Bodhisattva Saddhaparudita, ever weeping all the times cries, because it's like before he received the Pajinaparamita teachings, and like he couldn't find, like very difficult, hardly, and then he's decided, and like I can't receive Pajinaparamitas, even I'm a die. I don't want to care, like how I can to receive this teaching. Then he's like kind of the weeping all the times. Become the disciple of Dharmagata. This is Dharma emergent Bodhisattva, and this translate like this, but maybe I don't know, it's like Supreme Dharma, like this. Then his story start like this. Sadapurida was looking for the Pajinaparamata. Pajinaparamata is like more connect to the second Buddha's teaching, and also it's like talking about the principally emptiness as the type kind of the hidden to nature of the realities. The teachings on the transcendent, the wisdom. And one day, his request led him to solitary wasteland, and where he heard a voice from the skies saying, and just in the skies he heard this kind of the sound. And if you go to the like wasteland, maybe you will to get unfortunate son, go towards the eastern, you will hear the Pajinaparamitas. And go without caring about bodily fatigue, sleep, or the lethargy. Lethargy means do not be the kind of the laziness. Lethargy, only like a focus concerning Pajinaparamata. Even if you heat or cold, whether by day or by night, look neither to the right or to the left, need to concerning Pajinaparamata. If you do like this, then before long you will receive the Pajinaparamata. Either contained in the books or from a monk who embodied and teaches the Dharma. Like this Pajinaparamata teachings, maybe in the books or maybe in the some like teachers in the mind, that is means. And at that time, fortunate son, you should follow and stick to the one who teaches you the Pajinaparamata. Consider him your teacher and venerate his dharmas. And then it's like when you receive this like transcendent of the wisdoms, you should to consider this person as like kind of the your teacher, and respect to this, venerate to this his dharma, and then you to follow up this teacher, then you will purely receive the teaching of the Pajinaparamitas. Even if you see him, maybe enjoy the 5 pleasures, like based the pleasure of the sound, smell, taste, and texture, so on, of the sense. Realize that Bodhisattva are the skilled in the means, and never lose your faith, devotion, pure perceptions. Maybe may you see these teachers, it is really like kind of the enjoy the 5 desirable objects, like this, enjoy these pleasures. Do not kind of hesitate. This is Bodhisattva's like kind of skillful means, and never lose your faith. At this world, Sadapurudeta heard it. Then he set out toward the east. He had not gone far when he realized that just heard this sound. Then he realized that he had forgotten to ask the voice how far it should go. And so he had no idea how to find the teacher or book, which is the Prajnaparamita teachers. And then he is a little desperate. Then he's weeping and lamenting, like kind of the making lamentation sound. He vowed to ignore fatigue, hunger, thirst, and sleep, day or night, until he had received the teaching. And like kind of the day and night, he only constantly how I can to receive the teaching of the Prajnaparamita. He has stricken like a mother who has lost her only child. And the mother who has lost her only child, of course, her mind occupied only by this child. Like this, the ever-weeping bodhisattvas, day and night, his mind only occupied thinking of how I can to receive the Prajnaparamita. He was obsessed with a single question. When would he hear to the Prajnaparamita? He has like kind of the only one questions, obsessed with a single question. When I would hear the Prajnaparamita. And then it's like his prayers, devotions may be accorded these powers. At the moment, the form of the Tathagata, one is like Bodhisattva Tathagata, appeared from him and praised the quest for the Dharmas. And like kind of the quest for Dharma, for this Bodhisattva, and praised with this Tathagatas to sayings 500 ligus from your place. The Tathagata added, there is a city called the city of fragrant praises. Braises. Braise like fragrance. Breeze, fragrant breeze, breeze. It is made of the 7 precious substances. It is like kind of extremely nicely. And also in this mountain, these areas, it is surrounded by the 500 nature parks and possess all the perfect qualities, everything's all qualities. And in the center of that city, at the crossroad of the 4 avenues, it is like kind of conjunctions in the 4 avenues. Probably that is in Tundu, if you really to check. In the Ukhusas, some is already you've been. There is one Tibetan, many people's living there. It's called there's the 4 cross of avenues. And these areas, these Bodhisattvas, that time is the abode is a living place. Like kind of the dual this Bodhisattva Dharmagota, Bodhisattva Dharmagota is, it too is made of the 7 precious substance and is one length in the circumference. Circumference, it is like kind of the surrounded, like this. Circle, you can do circle or circumference. Circumference is like kind of the cycle, like the round. In Tibet is the kuryuks. There in the garden and other place of the delight, you can do there many. Still we have wonderful. Also there's the Bodhisattva Dharmogota or Dharmo. Yes, Dharmogota. Yes, Dharmogota's place is that some archaeologists discovered now in Tundu. There in the garden and there are place of the delight. Lives the Bodhisattva, the great being Dharmogota, with his entourage. Entourage is a French language. Entourage. In the company of the 68,000 women, he enjoyed the pleasure of the five sense, desirable objects, over which he has total mastery. And the blissfully doing whatever he likes, this Bodhisattva Dharmogota. And throughout past, present and future, he teaches the Pajinaparamita to those who dwell there, whoever living, those beings. Go to him and you will be able to hear the teaching on Pajinaparamita from him and these Bodhisattvas and Sophists give forecast to Bodhisattva, ever weeping Bodhisattva. Sadapuridata, Sadapuridita, Dita. No, pu, paru. Sadaparudita could no think of nothing except the heart heard. What he heard, only thinking about that. From the very spot where he was standing, the cold could hear the Bodhisattva Dharmogata teaching the Pajinaparamitas. And he is just a kind of that direction's spot and just concerning when I will hear the teaching of the Pajinaparamita from Bodhisattva Dharmogata. He experienced numerous states of mental concentrations, and according to these meditations, he only concentrated that. He perceived the different worlds in the 10 directions of the universal, and saw innumerable Buddhas teaching the Pajinaparamitas. They sung the praise of Dharmogata before disappearance. And fully of the joy, faith and devotion for the Bodhisattva Dharmogata, Sudaparidita wondered how he might come into his presence. he's concerning like this. How I can to go there? How I can to receive this teaching from the Bodhisattva Dharmagota about the teaching of the Pajin Paramata. And that, but certainly he think, I'm very poor, thoughty. I have nothing with which to honor him, Bodhisattva Dharmagota. No cloth, no jewel, no perfumes or the incense or garlands. What can I do? Nor any of the other objects with which to pay respect to the spiritual friend of the Dharmagota. So I shall sell the flesh of my own body, and with the money thus cost, when I receive for it money, then I will honor Bodhisattva Dharmagota. Throughout beginningless samsara, have sold my flesh innumerable times. He kind of the thinking, throughout the beginningless times, I be wandering in the samsara. How many times I lost flesh or sold, innumerable times lost. In the infinite number of the times too, I have already been cut to the piece, my body, and destroyed in the hell where my own desire and daggered me. How it is cutted, something and something. But it was never to receive the teaching like this or to honor such a sublime teachers. And then is he thought, now is the time I want to useful my body. I want to sell my body. I will go to and in the marketplaces. He went to the middle of the marketplace and started calling out, who wants man? Who wants to buy a man's flesh and blood? But evil spirit Mara, the evil ones, jealous that Sada Parudeta was undergoing such stress for the sake of the Dharma. Of course, all the times evil spirit Maras all the times take jealous. And also Mara are the quite is a kind of, Buddha, he just moment enlightenment. He come the front and he says, Buddha, you are living in me. You are the me. I am your house. And Buddha says like, not, you are the evil of the Mara. And you are not living in you. You are not my shatter. You are the pure illusion. Then he's disappeared. Then it's like defeated Buddha. And also here is like kind of he take jealous. And the Bodhisattva, this Dharmariputta, or it's like even weeping Bodhisattva, undergoing such dread for the sake of the Dharma, made everyone's deaf. Nobody's hear to his word. And Sabba Paruditas, Sabba Paru. It's difficult. Sabba Sadaparudita. Okay, Sadaparudita. Finding one, no one to buy his flesh meat and up these things. Went to a corner and sat there in the weeping. Nobody's don't want me. I want tear pouring from his eyes. and took hand of the weeping and cleaned his eyes. The Inder of the god realms, king of the god, then decided to test his determination. Really he wanted to kind of the self in order to receive the teachings. He's analyzed, to check, test. Taking the form of the young Brahmin, he appeared the front Sabha Purudita, the ever weeping Bodhisattva, and said, I do not need a whole man. I need only some human flesh, some human fat. And also it says fat means it's not, he said fat, but I need human marrow, in the bone, this fat marrow, some humans bone or marrow. Oh yes, there is marrow to make an offering, to sacrifice. I need it. If you can sell me that, I will pay you for it. Wow, overenjoyed, enough enjoyed. Bodhisattva, ever weeping Bodhisattva. Sabapurubdita took up the sharp knife and cut into his right arm until the blood spurted out, until the finished his blood, he sold it. And he then cut off all the flesh from his right thigh. Thigh is the most thick in the leg. And here, as he was preparing to smash the bones against a wall, and then the daughter of the rich merchant saw him doing these very hardships from the top story of the house, and rushed down to him. Noble one, what are you doing? Noble one, why you are inflicting such pain upon yourself? She asked. Do not do that, please. He explained that he wished to sell his flesh so that he might make an offering to the Bodhisattva Dharmagota in order to receive Pajina Paramita. And also when he received Pajina Paramita, how much his qualities. When the young girl asked him what benefit he would obtain from such homage. If you are homage, if you honor, you offered, how much is the benefit? That is important. This girl asked to ever weep Bodhisattva. Then Sabbaburideta replied, he will teach me the skillful methods of the Bodhisattva and the Pajina Paramita. If I'm doing like these offerings, he will teach me. Then it's extraordinary. If I'm then attain myself in those, I shall attain omniscient Buddhahood, possess the many qualities of the Buddha, and be able to share the precious Dharma with all beings. Therefore, this is the purpose I'm selling my flesh and the blood. It is surely true, said the girl. Oh, that may be truth. That each of those qualities deserve an offering of as many bodies as there are the grain of the sand in the Ganges. And like kind of this kind of, when you receive the Pajina Paramatas, you may be enlightenment, enlightened qualities of the benefit. It is each qualities you can to spend the amount of the Ganga's sand times. You can send again, trillions, limitless you can the body to spend in order to get this kind of qualities. And then, but please do not hurt yourselves, souls. The girl said, noble one, do not hurting yourselves. I shall give you whatever you need to honor to the Bodhisattva Dharmagota. And come with you myself, so see him. She saying, in so doing, I will create the root of the merit, which will enable me to attain the same qualities, truths. And this is replied the ever-weeping Bodhisattvas. When she is finished speaking, and resumed his own form and said to Sabha Burideta, or the ever-weeping Bodhisattvas, I am Inda, king of the god. I came to test your determination. I shall give you whatever you want. You have only to ask. You need to ask. Bestow upon me the unsurpassable qualities of the Buddhas. This Sabapura Deta replied, that I cannot grant you, because I am not omniscient teachers. And said Indra, the king of the god, such things do not fail within my domains. I cannot to give. This is not my domain. And other things I can to give. In that case, there is no need for you to trouble yourself about making my body whole again, said Sada Sabhaparutibita. And then Indra said, I shall invoke the blessing of the truths. By the blessing of the Buddhas, prediction that I will never return into samsaras. And at that moment, by the truth of my supreme and unshakable determinations, and by the truth of my word, may my body resume its former state. And he is like kind of the former state, means it's like kind of my body is become same like before. His unshakable determinations. My commitment is not false, not kind of artificial. If this is truth in my like kind of proof, my like kind of body resuming its former states, I think surely become. At this word, his body become exactly as it has been before. And Indra disappeared, and Sabhapuradita went with the enchantment's daughter to her parents' house, and they told them his story. They provide him with the numerous materia he would need for his offering to the Dharmagota Bodhisattva. Then he, daughter with the merchant's daughter, and her parents, accompanied by 500 female attendants and their whole retinue, set out in the carriage towards the eastern, the Bodhisattva Dharmagota's areas, and arrive in the city of and pregnant brazens. Pregnant. There's no exist. No, this is exactly fragrant. Brazen's town called the Gandhavatis. Gandhavatis, or the fragrant one. There he saw the Bodhisattva Dharmagata teaching the Dharma to thousands of the peoples. The sight filled him with the bliss that a monk experiences when immersed in the meditative absorptions. And like kind of the Bodhisattva or ever-weeping Bodhisattva has extraordinary happiness, inconceivable happiness. For example, some is like meditative absorptions. When they are like meditate on these concentrations, they have such bliss. Like this, like every Bodhisattva has this kind of feeling. Entire party step down from their carriage. Carriage is like kind of charities. Cherry, or I don't know, the horse wagons, and went to meet the Dharmagata. Now Dharmagata at the time had put the temple to the Pajina Paramata. It was made of the 7 precious substance exactly, and was decorated with red sandalwood and covered with the filigree of the pearls. Pearls, like kind of the red sandalwood with the covered with yeah, Rinpoche but this no, there is mythic tabi. Okay, yes, there is the filigree of the pills. Filigree ornament of the pills. In each of the 4 directions had been placed wish-granting gems as lamp and silver censer, from which wafted fragrant offering of the black aloe-wood incense. Agar, I think is in Sanskrit, aloe-wood is agar. Black aloe-wood has very special smell. I think in Sanskrit it's called black agar incense. And the incense's box is like kind of the silvers. Beautiful. And also there's lamps and luminous thing. Wonderful. At the center of the temple where 4 jewels containing the volumes of the Pajina Paramita made of the gold and written in the ink of the lapis lazuli. Wow, that's wonderful. He saw the volume and also teacher together. And seeing both God and man making offering, Sabha Paribita made inquiry, and then accompanied by the doctor, the merchant and the 500 attendants made excellent offering too. Okay, maybe we can there. But questions is over. Do you have question? Oh, sorry, I didn't look my watch. And do you have any questions? But this part is very history. Almost we are just read. That is enough. You know, understand very well. There's not much you need to explanation, and it's just too slow to read. Very important is the ever-weeping Bodhisattvas, how it is that he's follow up the teachers. How is he in order to receive teaching of the Pajit Paramata, how much he go under the hardships. And also we need imitating like kind of the ever-weeping Bodhisattva style. Okay, thanks. Okay, your questions? What do you have question? Not math question. Yes?
Thank you, Rinpoche. We have few questions, and from Volodya. On one hand, it is said in the teachings that all phenomena are my own mind. That would mean that all beings are also appearances of my mind. But Buddha said that beings have their own mind, then they are the appearances that come from their own true nature, not the appearances of my mind. I cannot really understand this point.
Whatever you perceived in according to your habitual tendencies, okay, maybe there is some sentient beings existing. It doesn't matter. Whatever you perceived, that is your perceptions. And if you haven't got your mind, you can't perceive nothing. But you don't need to say there is. That means whatever you perceived is according to your pattern, your perceptions. Your inner, you're like kind of projected. But externally exist or not exist, how we can to judge? In your individual, whatever you perceived, that is your inner. Like a film projected. Film dimension projected, projecting in the wall many pictures. That time is maybe those pictures are the kind of in the wall, like a kind of the nice or the like which kind of film, which kind of picture you look. There's many varieties, but these pictures not exist in the wall. But it's like in the project inside, you projecting exactly like this. If you look at this one, you receive this one because of your habitual tendencies. When you think this is paper, but maybe this is not paper. And what you see thinks that is not truly existence. If you haven't the perceiver in brain or your mind, you can't. Then why you say the existence? Maybe sentient beings existence, not exist, doesn't matter. What you perceived appearances is your appearances. That's very important.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Tasha, can teacher who passed away help in bardo to his student who dies after him?
Maybe yes. I will listen to this machine then. Oh yes, he said.
Thank you. Dinara Sai says, thank you, Rinpoche. I have heard that if the students behave badly and break the samaya, this directly affects the health of the teacher. Is that true?
Can you repeat?
I have heard that if the students behave badly and break the samayas, this directly affects the health of the teacher. Is it true?
Oh yes. Sometimes I heard also myself. Like Mohan Rinpoche is this kind of happened, then he died. And some is also like be handicapped and sick. Yes, I heard. And other question?
Thank you. Dimitri Misantos says, Dear Rinpoche, good morning. If the deity is the teacher in essence, yes, any appearance is also the teacher in essence, included the beings and all the phenomena. Is this correct?
Oh yes, have you heard in Tibetan says, Moa Dalai Lama says, all the symbolic appearances as the magic illusion or the discipline or like kind of the expression of your teacher says. That is correct. They says in the book.
Thank you. Nadezhda Skvortsova says, Rinpoche, how we may recognize...
Help me.
How we may to have recognized a teacher has the bodhicitta or not?
Help me, yes?
No, how may we recognize?
Okay. Yeah, we need to more close to search. Okay, yes.
Thank you. Roger Kala says, Dear Rinpoche, one side, we are connected to all sentient beings as they have been our mothers. On other hand, it is mentioned that only by devotion will help us in the bardo.
I don't understand this one. Can you make it nicely to put them? I don't understand your question now. Okay, tomorrow.
Okay, Nadezhda Skvortsova asks again.
Nadia.
Nadezhda. Can student have several Can student have several root teachers from different tradition, or root teacher may be only one?
I think it's normally root teacher. You call the root teacher means maybe only one. And but it's like, of course, you can to have several teachers. That's no problem.
Thank you. Bernard Paulet says, when the mind is liberated from the cycle of rebirth and melts into the primordial consciousness, in eternal happiness, is it not like a golden prison? There is nothing to accomplish anymore, nothing to think about, isn't it?
Oh yes, you are right. You give answer yourself. And
Antonio
mm-hmm.
says, Dear Rinpoche, what does it mean, this sentence on page 144, last sentence of the last quotation, a sense of self-restraint? Thank you.
What is sense of?
A sense of self-restraint.
Self-restraint. And restraint means it's like you be is like kind of the to control. I think maybe that one. I don't know.
And last question. Anonymous person says, asks, was Sogyal Rinpoche a true Lama? What do you think of the disciples who disobeyed Sogyal Rinpoche? What do you think of the disciples who still believe in Sogyal Rinpoche?
Oh, wonderful. But I don't know this business. Really, I'm very stupid things. I don't know. Maybe so from my perspective, it is Sogyal Rinpoche is extraordinary. And because his books is like really millions like ordinary people turn into the Buddha's path. I appreciate very much. Then I don't know. It's reality. I don't know. This is I don't know. I don't want to say anything. That's the last one. Yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sunamdaya tamche zikpanya topni nipa dana pamche te heganan je walam trupaya Sipun solin droka drova sho shonche sancho rumbo chen ma shipa nam shejirchi shipa nyamba me pa ton koni kondan perwa shonche sancho rumbo chen ma shipa nam shejirchi shipa nyamba me pa ton koni kondan perwa shonche sancho rumbo chen ma shipa nam shejirchi shipa nyamba me pa Koni kondan perwa sho kongri rarwi korwe shen kamsa pendon dewa malin jongani shenen zingwon tenzan janso ye shapi santi parda tanjar parden lami kase temba ton kanyon yon la deshi njongwa to dojen malu tsoso drubyoni nyurdo sonji salangop Yewa kanda yon da lama ton dharmi chuje pala long shuji sadon lamje yon tenrat Dorje chongo komponyo torhyo ndinsen tusun sopo getsa kan tenrik sohwa me pe yeshi korson yonda chenbu jitabni nilu zohwa chenbu londa ambenza sato samayaman pala benza sato di nobati tandu dumi basudu yumesu benza mame mazamez bama samaya sato thank you la